Have you ever done something that made you wonder if you were a sociopath? When I was 22, I worked nights at a call center for a cable company. There was this one caller who was different. Her name was Dorothy. She started calling maybe twice a week, always around 10 p.m. The first time, she said her remote wasn't working. I walked her through it, fixed it in like 2 minutes. But then she just kept talking about her garden, her 3 cats, her husband who died in 2011. At first, I thought it was kind of sweet. She was lonely. I got it, so I listened. She'd tell me about her cat Buttons climbing the curtains, or her neighbor Earl stealing tomatoes from her garden. She called me Sweetie and laughed at my dumb jokes. I started calling her Dot. She loved that. But then my supervisor moved me to a different shift, and I got stuck working with this guy named Kyle and his friend Brent. They were the type who made everything into a joke. One night, Dot called again. Same stories, same laughs. I was tired. Kyle saw me on the phone and mouthed, "Who is it?" I rolled my eyes and mouthed back, "Old lady who won't stop talking." He grinned. Then I did something I still can't explain. I hit mute and put her on speaker. Dot was mid-story about Buttons knocking over a plant. Kyle and Brent started cracking up. I threw in a "really?" and "oh wow" every few seconds so she'd think I was listening. It became a thing. She'd call, I'd mute her, and we'd all sit there laughing while she talked about Earl or her late husband or some recipe she saw on TV. She never knew. She'd always end the call with, "You're such a sweet boy. Thank you for listening." Then one week, she didn't call. I didn't think much of it. Maybe she got bored. Maybe she found someone else to talk to. 2 weeks passed. Nothing. Then a letter came to the office. It was addressed to the customer service department, but my name was on it. It was from a woman named Claire, Dorothy's niece. The letter said Dorothy had passed away. Heart failure. It said that in her last few weeks, she kept talking about the boy with the kind voice who worked at the cable company. She asked for me by name before she slipped into a coma. Claire wanted to thank me for making her aunt's final months less lonely. I read it in the break room. Kyle was there. Brent, too. Nobody laughed. Nobody said anything. I folded the letter and shoved it in my pocket. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying all those calls in my head. Her laugh, the way she'd say "sweetie," the way I'd muted her while my coworkers made fun of her stories. I waited to feel something. Guilt, sadness, anything. But I just felt empty. A few days later, I found out when her funeral was. I don't know why, but I went. I sat in the back of the chapel. There were maybe 20 people there. Claire gave a speech about how Dorothy loved her cats and her garden and how she missed her husband every single day. She mentioned me. She said, there was a young man at her cable company who always made time for her. She said he reminded her of her son. I left before it ended. I sat in my car in the parking lot and stared at the steering wheel. I thought maybe I'd cry. Maybe I'd feel something, but I didn't. I just felt cold. I quit the call center 2 weeks later. I told myself it was because the pay sucked, but honestly, I couldn't pick up another call without hearing her voice.